Hello, YouTube. This is William back again. I'm kind of wanting to outline what my financial plan is in terms of generating uh, quasi passive income to the levels of around 100K per year in the real estate market. So, as of right now, 2025, I own a duplex, which we're renting out half of it and living in half of it. And that's netting a debt of around $270,000, which that's a lot. It's going to be a while before we pay it off. We're on like a 30-year mortgage and paying a little more than it's required each month. But uh, basically, I don't want to work an office job. I want to be somewhat of an entrepreneur, eventually getting into property development and general contracting once I have enough cash flow. But to get there, I'm planning to do it based on becoming a real estate agent and buying rental properties and attending college using my veteran benefits to generate some side income. So, kind of what the plan is in my head right now is using the DSCR loans, which is debt service coverage ratio loans. And basically, what you need for these loans are a ratio of at least 1.25 to qualify to get these without um, necessarily as much of the income you would need for a conventional loan, like a W-2s and tax return information. And so basically with this, the DSCR loans, they look at how much the property is projected to earn. And if it's earning uh, 25 cents on the dollar uh, for the loan coverage, then it qualifies as a property. Uh, some of the properties I was looking at are even better. They're projected to be like 1.3. So that's kind of what I'm banking on right now. And kind of to improve this ratio, you can kind of put a bigger down payment on the loans where your monthly payments are lower than the rent. That's kind of the whole philosophy behind this type of loan. Um, and basically, what I want is to rent one single family home for around 95,000 and one multi-family home for around 150. Um, the biggest hole in this plan really is I have very positive estimations for how much I'll be making as a real estate agent. I know the average is much lower than this, but I think it's possible if you kind of grind. I've been watching a bunch of Graham Hancock's, or not Graham Hancock. That's the geologist, but Graham Stephan's videos. He's kind of like a finance realtor YouTuber, and he basically outlined how you can make 100K per year as a realtor in like the average area. And it basically amounts to selling around 16 homes worth around 250 to $300,000 each, like 15 to 11 homes here in Arkansas. If you were somewhere like in LA, you might only need to sell like two homes. But anyway, so I'm I'm kind of I have a very positive outlook on this. In my plan, I put 75K, then 100K year two, 110K year three, and who knows if that's realistic or not, but I feel like it's possible at the very least. And kind of basically, once you have one house paid off, it starts contributing payments to the next house, which starts contributing payments to the next house. And then eventually you're going to be getting like 50K per year in passive income once you move out of all the rental properties. And then you can shift over to something that you'd rather do, or what I can shift over to something that I'd rather do, like general contracting or property development or just building houses on land I purchase and then developing that land into properties that I can then rent out into more rental properties. So that's kind of the vision right now. I think that's what I want to do long term. Привет, Pookie. Anyway, this is the vision. This is the plan. It all really depends on the execution of the real estate agent part. If I'm not making 100K per year on average, then this kind of falls apart partially, like the timeline wise. All of this can still maintain itself because the debt ratio coverage works. Basically, the worst case scenario is I acquire two more properties and they pay for themselves over a 25-year lifespan. Um, now, where I might change this plan is that if these two properties pan out and they're working, maybe if I get one of them paid off, like the $95,000 one, then I can get another property, maybe another two properties. And ideally, I'd want to get up to 10 to 15 properties for passive income. Eventually, maybe I could switch and hire property managers. And you know, there's multiple directions this could go, and really, I would play it by ear. Like, if I hated being a realtor, maybe that wouldn't be the way to go. Maybe I'd start working under a general contractor to learn more and more about that. If the property management for these two was terrible, maybe a light bulb would go off in my head and be like, okay, more of these are going to be a pain in my life, and I won't enjoy the maintenance and finding tenants and all the headaches that come along with that. Maybe that's too much, and I'll hire a property manager or go in a different direction. But right now, this is the plan. It's the only way I see of making something like 100K per year without having just like a typical W-2 job. Um, I've been watching a ton of content online for like how to make money without having a conventional job. There's a tons of ways to make money. I could make a junk removal business. I could try to learn drop shipping, which is very trendy right now, but I think it's trendy for a reason. I think it actually works. But for now, this is how I plan to make money, and we'll see how it goes. Like, 5 years is a very short amount of time, and the amount of money, if the plan goes how it's supposed to, is crazy at the end of it. At the 5 year mark for this, I could go into general contracting, I could buy more houses and get more passive income, or I could pick YouTube and try to become a really famous YouTuber having this as my bankroll or something. The possibilities are endless. The variability are also endless, so all of this could fall apart. But so far, this is what I think will work in my head. I've been thinking about this for like the last month or two. Um, Realistically, I've been thinking about this like the past 2 to 3 years, but this is the best I've come up with. I I don't think I want to try to start like a software company. I'm not a great coder. I think that's kind of required, and you could say like, oh, you could learn, but I think this is what I want to do. Real estate is actually physical. It's something people are always going to need, um, and the value is just obvious. Whereas like you create a software product, it's like you're just kind of like fingers crossing it. There's a ton of competition. You know, the demand is always going to be huge for real estate. I feel like it's more reliable than trying to do some sort of AI startup or software as a service or anything like that. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe and really at the end of the day, it's just not me. Like I'm sure you could create a cybersecurity firm and generate tons of money in doing cybersecurity for medium-sized businesses, but um, really, I'm not that technical. I don't like that kind of stuff very much. Uh, a robotics company would be really fun to build, but the best people in the world are going to Boston Dynamics and Tesla, and they're getting great experience there, and they're surrounded by other brilliant minds. It's like the problem with robotics and starting a robotics company is like you're not going to get the best talent. Tesla, Boston Dynamics, probably every tech company has a robotics division now, I bet. But anyway, this is a plan. Let me know what you think. Let me know any suggestions you have. Where are the holes? Is this way too unrealistic or is it feasible? Let me know.